Hey everybody, what's going on? I am back from my little mini vacation. If you can't tell, I am pretty sick. I was sick since the day that I left for the trip. So I have a lot of other things. I didn't necessarily want this type of video to be my first video back. But the things that I want to make, I can't make until my throat doesn't hurt anymore and I have my full voice back. So I tried to work on one this morning and I just couldn't. I couldn't make it happen the way I wanted to make it happen. So the reason I'm making this video is because the more that I've thought about this, the more that I've thought something needs to be said about it. So let me throw some disclaimers out before I get into this, so that you understand completely where I'm coming from here. This is in no way about Stu. Stu is still a good buddy of mine. We talk quite a bit behind the scenes. We have plans to do videos together. When I go to Japan, I'm going to make it a point to get together with him. This is in no way about Stu. This is about Plarium and its content creators. So understand, I am still very happy for Stu. I think that it's awesome that he got a shout out. I think it's well deserved. In no way do I think it should be taken away, it shouldn't have happened, or that it's any way that this is about him. It's not about him. What it's about is Plarium. Now when it first happened, I thought, cool, Plarium's going to start engaging with their content creators a little bit better, put a little bit of a push behind them, grow the community. I thought that was a cool move. I thought it was good PR. I thought it's good for the game, because games like these need a good, regular, happy, diverse content creator community. Because sorry, different creators are gonna pull different people in, right? I didn't come over to YouTube and start looking at these games until I'd been in Summoner's War for a long time, maybe a year, and then I thought maybe I should go over to YouTube and see if I can get some ideas, and that's where I found Jew Bagel and YDCB and Childish Plays and Demotivational Gamer and all these guys who are making different types of content, Claytano and Shredded Puzzle. And, I learned something from all of them. And as I got into content creation myself, I started to, it kind of changed everything for me. So if I'd come over to the game and there was nothing like that, I don't know that I would have continued to play the game the way that I did. It made me engage with the game in a much different way. So having a content creator base that's diverse and excited about what they're doing is important to these games, to the longevity of keeping players in these games. And while that's something Raid hasn't necessarily shown an interest in, they're very much about new player acquisition. That is a point they're missing, and eventually they're going to learn it. The new player flow is going to slow down, and it's going to become about player retention. And hopefully they haven't shot themselves in both feet by the time they realize that, because they're not doing a good job of keeping players around ultimately. So my thoughts on the shout out thing when it first happened were just that: cool, they're going to start doing this, great. Also understand, I don't have some delusion about where I'm at in the content creator hierarchy. There are some people that know me, and there's some people that love me, and I get comments all the time about, this should get more views, you should have more subs. People like what I'm doing, but I understand I have a pretty small crowd. I'm barely over 4,000 subs at this point, which is incredible for me. But in the hierarchy of the content creators, I'm pretty low, and that's fine. So don't think that this is based on me thinking I should get something. I know that if I was ever going to get a shout out for Plarium, I'm pretty far down on the list. So this isn't about me. It's offensive to the other content creators to go about this the way they've gone about it, because I do talk to the other guys, so I kind of know what's going on. I know about the interactions with Plarium. Plarium is I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they do have plans to do it again for someone, but they're not communicating with any of us. I have reached out and tried to get just the YouTube creator role in the official Discord. They won't answer me about that. Even the bigger guys have tried to reach out to some of the mods about just more information, more communication. They're ignoring everybody. So basically what they've done is they seem to have turned their back on everybody in the content creator community. They did this shout out for Stu, and it seems like they've cut everyone else off, which is a really, really strange thing, and it's not. These guys had pretty open lines of communication prior to this. So, I am offended. I am offended mostly for the sake of Chosen. I think that if anyone should feel personally offended by this, it should be Chosen, if I'm going to be honest about it. When I first came to Raid, he searched Raid a month or two after the game came out. He was the content creator for Raid. It was him and Incredible John, and Chosen was by far, the bigger, more regular content creator. No knock on Incredible John. I think he's great, but Chosen was the guy at the beginning when this game first came out. And it's just a strange move to push him out like that. You know what I mean? Because he was the guy, and he's been the guy. He's been the biggest channel from that moment prior to the Stu shout out. So it's strange to box him out that way. But you've got Darth, you've got Hell Hades, who blew up out of nowhere, right? It wouldn't be unthinkable to give him a shout out, But Chosen, Darth, Hell Hades, Salt is doing pretty well. There's guys that are up there that Plarium has nothing to lose by pushing, right? Again, they don't necessarily have much to gain on surface level. It's not necessarily bringing in a lot of new players, which again seems to be their focus, but player retention, I'm telling you, you're going to want some relevant content creators. You're going to want a diverse group of relevant content creators that can keep different types of people playing. And I think Raid has a good group. I think we've got a good group of content creators as far as like the core ones that most people know. You've got Stu doing his fun kind of goofy type summons and his free to play guides, and he's really regular and he's doing interesting things. You've got Chosen, who gets into the analytics of things. He does pretty in-depth guides. He does a lot of different types of content, and his PAP calculator and his tier list. He brings that to the community. You've got Darth, who's a goofy dude. He's funny. He's he's real to the point of being offensive sometimes, it seems, to Plarium. But he's the whale. He's the whale of the group. You kind of get to live vicariously through him as he blows through thousands of dollars and pops hundreds of shards on a regular basis. You get to see what a whale account looks like firsthand. I think I'm an interesting part of the community. I don't see anybody doing the types of stuff I'm doing, not only in this community, but in any mobile game community like this. I think I'm doing interesting stuff, different stuff at the very least. Hell Hades, who's getting into the real deep numbers of the game. If you haven't seen Hell Hades' video on No Rog and Duchess, where he's breaking down all the numbers of their damage reduction, that's one of my favorite raid videos. I've said it before. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It is so cool to watch. But that's kind of what I'm saying. There's other guys doing other cool stuff too. Cold Brew and Ali and all these guys. I'm sure there's some I'm not naming. It's not a slight. I'm kind of going through the points quick. But we've got a good group here. We've got an interesting group that I think can keep a lot of different types of players engaged. So to push Stu and then box everyone else out that way is a really, really strange decision. So I guess the point of this video is just to give you guys a little bit of perspective and to make you understand, if you ever hear Chosen or someone say something that sounds like they're upset about it, don't just go straight to, well, you're just salty because it wasn't you, because that's not it. That's not it. We are all unanimously happy for Stu. We have all talked about it. We are happy for Stu. This has nothing to do with Stu. This has something to do with Plarium and the strange decision to only push him, right? That's offensive because we're all working hard. We all spend hours a day on this. I put a lot. I guess I can speak for me 100%. I put a lot of time and energy into the stuff that I'm doing, and I know that these other guys do too. So it is offensive, of course. Of course it's offensive. It's not that we're salty, or that we're not happy for Stu, or that we don't think he deserved it. It's none of that. But that can coexist with us also being offended, feeling slighted, like what we're doing isn't appreciated or relevant or whatever it may be. Those things can coexist. So if you hear the other guys talking about it and they seem like they're a little offended, that's okay. That's reasonable. Don't go straight to the "you're salty because it wasn't you" thing, because that's not the case. So I guess that's all I really have to say about it. I guess I'm gonna go in here and vomit now. I'm hoping that this clears up in the next few days. I've got quite a few ideas for things that I want to do. It's going to be a real bummer if I'm not able to do them, especially by the time the update comes out. So I appreciate you guys watching. I know that this first video back from the week off isn't really exciting or anything. I know it's kind of a bummer, but it's all I got in me right now. Like I said, I'm writing some other stuff and I want to get some other stuff made. So I'm going to pound some medicine all day, and hopefully this clears up in the next couple days and I can get back to the fun stuff. But I thought it might not be a bad idea to just give a little perspective and let you guys know how we're feeling about all that, because it affects, it can affect the motivation levels to an extent, right? So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Again, congratulations to Stu. He's still my boy. Nothing has changed. I think that it's awesome, and I think it's well deserved. It just would be nice if Plarium would acknowledge the rest of the content creators, because those guys are working hard too. So thank you for watching. Shout out to my patrons. Much appreciated. We're going to be back in full swing now. And like I said, hopefully I'm cleared up in the next couple days and I can get back to it. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.